Alright, it's me again, and my brain keeps churning out more and more ideas and things that I just need to kind of get off my chest, get the thoughts out of my head, put it to some place where, kind of safekeeping. So I'm trusting this with you, and if you want to walk here with Nellie and I, we'll see what we can come up with. So yeah, while I did finally get the nerve to start publishing these videos and making them more public to not just my close friends, have not gotten a wide review, not even any kind of audience really following, no comments, which is a bit shame. So if you're watching this and this does make you think or feel something, let me know. It made the world to me that I'm not the only one, and sometimes this world certainly does feel very lonely for autistic people, or people who are struggling with autism, people who are doing great with autism, or just family and friends of those who claim the title. So yeah, any kind of like or comment would be greatly appreciated, just so that I don't feel like I'm just doing this for me. Hopefully someone out there is getting something out of this. But in the meantime, who wants to see a cute dog? Come here, baby, come. Sit. 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 Yeah, good girl. Come here. Come here, baby girl. You want to give me a paw? You want to give me that paw? Come on. Shake. 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 Come on. Ah. No? Oh, man. Shake. Give me the paw. Yeah? Oh, good. Is it because I don't have any treats? Yeah. Alright. Let's not get you tangled. Go ahead, let's go. Alrighty. So, I guess the first thing that kind of stuck in my mind is stimming. Stimming and how autism kind of versus the world, it constantly feels. It's like people don't know what stimming is. People don't tolerate stimming. Stimming has such a negative connotation. People are constantly trying to get others to stop stimming. And so that's one of the things that I think that really, matters to me, because I've had a lot of my stims criticized and critiqued, and I've tried to help other people who have stims that have negative connotations, associations, or consequences. Not all stims are good, safe, or, with repetition, sometimes even the most benign thing. It's all about the dose, and the dosage is what makes something poisonous or toxic or unsustainable. And a lot of people really struggle with those who have autism. I've already ran across, just in the time that I started doing these videos, some people who are in high denial that they have children that have autism, and I've already heard the terrible position on vaccines. It's quite annoying. I think we debunked this, and we've gotten past this as a society, where we no longer think that you can catch the gay, or that vaccines are going to give you autism. Very clearly, autism is hereditary. So if you are watching this and you're thinking, I might have the autism, awesome for you. Next step is, which one of your parents is it? And for me, it was really obvious which one was the nerdy netty professor, the absent-minded professor. Basically a classic textbook version of what is now no longer socially acceptable to call as Asperger's, and having a previous partner who would, in arguments or disagreements, yell at me, "What, do you have Asperger's?" was a really rude awakening for me. But hey, I'm gonna look at the silver lining and say it was an awakening. And I think that my stims are probably what got me there. And so I really feel like exploring some parts of these stims that people have maybe to just help identify, help to codify, to make people not feel like it's such a bad thing. And when there's understanding, the world might be just a bit better place, and I want to make the world a better place. I don't want to feel like it's autism versus the world, but it sure darn feel like it. As I talked previously about how capitalism doesn't care about us being autistic, doesn't make any sort of meaningful... Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be a poop bag time. Doesn't make any meaningful, help or changes to the workplace because of owlistic normies, non-neurospecies. The first stim that comes to mind is the one that I get that is the most criticism. And to give a little bit of history feedback on it, I grew up and I always wanted to have long hair. Absolutely, always wanted to have long hair. There was always super cool dudes in the shows, in the movies that had long hair, and there was something mystical, fantasy, whether it was sci-fi or history, dudes just have long hair. And I kept being told, men do not have long hair. I'm like, well, I'm not a man. That's a huge burden to put on a child. When you put it in that perspective, remember that when you're telling a child that they need to be the fully evolved, grown version of themselves. It's like, no, I don't actually think that's what a kid needs to do. You don't need to predetermine their evolution state, and you don't need to tell them, these kind of burdens on them when really what they should be burdened with is, the tough decision of which game they're going to play, the friends they're going to make, what's their favorite subject in school, more fun, less burdensome, contemplations. And so being told, hey, you can't have long hair because poor logical fallacy, appeal to tradition reason. I didn't know what appeal to tradition was as a child, but I sure was constantly told and reinforced this. I had a G.I. Joe named Bonsai, and if you can guess, Bonsai was a long blonde-haired ninja with an amazing... Come on, let's go this way. With an amazing long blonde hair. And unlike other G.I. Joes, this G.I. Joe actually had hair, like Barbie doll hair, like he had a ponytail sticking out of the back of his ninja mask. No eating that. Nope, absolutely not. And so, yeah. Come on. And I don't know how I came by this ninja, but G.I. Joes were awesome as a kid. They had so many movable parts, waists and knees, their wrists and their elbow and shoulder joints. Like, we're talking major, figurine manipulation. And my brother had Snake Eyes, so at least Snake Eyes is pretty popular. I, for some reason, would always get left with kind of the villains. I grew up with Shredder. Absolutely love Shredder. I love Shredder so much that when I had surgery as a baby, the nurses put Shredder in a Ziploc, like they sanitized Shredder and then put him in a medical bag, like double bagged him, and then I took my Shredder into surgery with me. Can you walk on this side, baby? Come on. And no, she doesn't care. And so, come on, this way. This side. Come on. And so, I wanted to have long hair. I saw it in all the movies, I saw it on all the shows, I had it in all of my toys. Nope, do not eat that. And so, I absolutely wanted it. And I was constantly, sadly, forced to have short hair. Terrible. I was finally, once I reached high school, kind of like a barter and trade system with my parents, where I switched parental house, and it was basically like, oh, well, this parent won't let me have long hair, and the parent was like, okay, fine, you can have long hair. So yeah, I finally get to have long hair. and it felt amazing. It felt, how do you describe it? Affirming? It felt affirming. And all along I've been leading you on this trail to kind of explain to you where one of my biggest stims comes from, and it's playing with my hair. Oh my God, I can't tell you how calming, relaxing it is to play with the hair. She's pulling. Oh, you peeing? Her butt's low. Yep, gotta mark that territory. And so, it feels amazing. I didn't know how great it felt to tuck my hair behind my ears, how good it feels to just like kind of pull through the hairs, line them all up, to be able to bunch it together, put it in a ponytail, have it in the back, like the different styles that I can do with it. And I'm not good with styling hair. Come on, over here. And, but I love to play with it. So as my hair grew out, I started stimming like crazy because the world is a chaotic place and it's going to stress you out. I think the world stresses everyone out. Autistics are not like, you know, special in this regards, but how we deal with it. Did you get entangled? Come here. Did you get tangled? Yeah, you did. Sit. Shake. Oh, now you do it. Mm-hmm. Good girl, good girl, good girl. And so I absolutely love stimming, playing with my hair. And I think that it's something that's so easily overlooked. And for me, it was so cathartic that I had hair to play with. I always wanted to have hair to play with. I absolutely loved it. I would brush other people's hair. And it was just this longing to have my own hair and be able to play with it. And the stimming that I get from it is just, it's so relaxing. And I think I could pull off the long hair look. All the other dudes in superhero fantasies and Knight's Tales and all those movies, all those guys have long hair. I remember the one that really did me was Final Fantasy VII, which if any of you gamers out there have played 7, you guys know that there's a lot of dudes with long hair in that game. Sephiroth being one of the most coolest, you know, kind of the biggest, coolest of them all. That's a squirrel and you need to leave it alone. Leave the squirrel alone. Leave the squirrel alone. Yeah, be nice. Be polite. We don't chase squirrels. And so, that's the first part of like when I realized that I was stimming. I was in class, a girl sitting behind me, and she's like, hey, I bet you, she pulls out her wallet, and this is a lot of money at the time, $2. She's got $2 in her wallet. She's like, I bet you $2 that you can't stop playing with your hair until the end of class. And I really want a Taco Bell. So I was like, bet, I can do it. And it was very difficult to not play with my hair. I wanted so badly to push and brush it behind my ears and to just mess with it or move it around. And I stimmed in so many other ways, wrapping my pencil on the desk, clicking, you know, thumbing the eraser, all kinds of those fidget things. If anybody else has got those neurospices, you know that it's not just the autists that are going to have stims that they like to do. That's where fidget spinners came in. And if you don't like fidget spinners, I gotta ask you something. What's your reason for not liking them? Yeah, think about it. If you don't like fidget spinners, what about it makes you upset? It's like, it's literally there to help someone, to reassure someone. You know, they've got teddy bears for kids after car accidents. They've got blankets. They've got all kinds of things that are, I know you see it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. She gets so excited. Always want to chase them squirrels. And so, like, I gotta ask, if you don't like the fidget spinners, then, you know, there's probably, this might seem very judgmental, but I'm gonna ask you, maybe what's wrong with that? Is there something wrong with you that you're so upset that people want to use a fidget spinner that's gonna help them either focus or stay calm? Like, you don't genuinely want what's good or best for other people, then maybe you have a big problem. So I gotta ask, if you have a problem with fidget spinners, tell me. I would love to hear you comment on there. Tell me what's so wrong with them, or any of those other kind of fidget things. I have seen such great success over the years with friends and family members who get fidget spinners, toys, and whatnot, and they do so well with it, you know? Like, it helps them to not bite their fingernails, not to pick and scratch things, and you know, come on, bro, walk like normal, like walk like you want to walk. Come on. What is this? You're staring at something. You're not even walking. She's like, oh, look at her. She's like, she gets fixated on whatever it is, and then she just doop. She just stops. Like, we're going for a walk, girl, and she just like, I want to stare at that thing. I'm gonna get that thing. That's all I can think about is gotta get that thing. Come on. And so, stimming is, you know, a lot of complex things that we don't even notice. I just played with my hair. There's the biting the fingernails, you know, thumbing the fingers, drumming, cracking knuckles. Oh man. Everybody has their stim, whether they're autistic or not, but I think people need to realize that how stimming is, you know, easily portrayed, especially if you have a lot of different stims. Things that are gonna help you to relax or stay focused, and how that's totally normal. I think that if we just viewed it as more and more people have these things and it's completely normal and healthy to have these kind of stims, then yeah, maybe the world would be a little more understanding. The problem is that with people who have autism, there's this problem of you know, the world and the senses that we're experiencing are just a lot. It can be kind of traumatic sometimes. It can be a little too much. Forward, 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 forward. Why are you stopping in front of me? And so, oh man, it's so windy today. I doubt any of that's getting picked up. I need a better microphone. And so, as I was saying about, things can become overwhelming, and stimming can be life-saving. When you see too many things and you start getting overwhelmed with all the things that you're seeing, you kind of need, I know a lot of autistic people, they need sunglasses. Sunglasses is like mandatory. And so, oh, that's pretty loud too. The problem with filming outside, and no privacy inside, and no real privacy outside. You gotta deal with cars and everything. Come on. And so, forward, forward, come on. Never know when she's gonna unexpectedly stop in front of me. You're a big hurdle. Yeah. You look like a white fluffy cloud, but you're like a 50-pound brick. And so, it's a struggle, right? I need sunglasses. The world can be just too bright. It can just be all too much. And it's really easy to forget that sights and sounds can be very stimulating, and for an autistic person, it can be very overstimulating. And so, noise canceling headphones is something that we've created, you know, only in recent times. And we look back in history where people would get overwhelmed, they'd put their hands over their ears, and they'd start rocking back and forth. Why are we doing this? Is there a cat under there? You leave it alone. Come on, walk normal. You know, just tug on me like that. And so, you went under the car. Whew. Walking a puppy is serious work sometimes. And so, they would rock themselves back and forth, really struggling with, you know, how to deal with being overstimulated. And in our olden days, you know, when we wanted to, the church wanted to take power, we would call these people witches or possessed, and instead of giving these people, you know, proper understanding, come here, you're tangled. Come here. Sit. Sit. Give me a paw. Good girl. Come on this way. And so it's really easy to overlook that, closing your ears or putting on headphones, turning up the music is a type of stimming. Blot out the world. I was constantly listening to video game music. Everywhere I went, I had my Walkman, my Sony Walkman. I remember as soon as I got my cassette player, absolutely rocked that thing. I didn't want to hear anything that I didn't want to hear, and I didn't realize that, like, how simple it is to say that. Like, what I wanted to hear was that I needed to be in control of what I was hearing. I'm going to the street, and out of the street. And the problem is that video game music was perfect for that kind of need, that niche, basically, because there wasn't any lyrics. I could just have it play and hum in the background, and I think that's why, like, so many tunes really catch, they earworm our way into our minds and our lives, where we're just like, we're constantly hearing, good old Legend of Zelda tales, whistling, walking in the forest, those kind of epic sonatas from playing games like Castlevania. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you know what I'm talking about. But all these games got remade and got even more remastered, and so even the younger gens still kind of know these things. Although I will hear a lot of kids say that Minecraft music is really soothing, and I always played that on mute, so I guess I'm the one who doesn't relate to it now. Whew, I almost ran into you. I was ready for that one. And so music can be a huge part of stimming. And it's not just that the whole world loves music, but the want to kind of block out everything else that's going around you. And since the world is such a traumatic place, and the sounds that we hear are usually not the best, most common ones being mom and dad fighting. That's one of the earliest, most traumatic bits that an autistic kid is going to have to deal with. And being able to put the headphones on and crank out some, I don't know, back in my day it was Linkin Park, listening to Someday I really want to break down Chester's memoir about all of his music was about dealing with a narcissist. He puts so much stuff into very clear, concise terms that just really encapsulates what it's like dealing with somebody who makes you feel unsafe. And that's a big problem with this world, is we gotta go this way. Come on. We don't feel safe in this world a lot of times. The world doesn't really care about meeting our needs, and it meets other people's needs. So it's a bit of an inequality. We can see that other kids, when we're growing up, their needs are being met, but ours are not. Though we don't have words to put it in, we definitely still feel it. And so I was weird for wanting to have my headphones in. I was that early generation of kids who didn't want to hear, people fighting or arguing, would get kind of thrown off my groove if I had to listen to things that I was just not prepared to listen to, or if I was already stimulated, then hearing other people would just be all the more stimulating, to the point where I'd be overstimulated. And of course, this is in a time when being autistic was basically treated as a handicap, treated as special needs, to the point of, ostracism from your life. So I find it, back to my point about how people are in such denial, especially parents of kids who have autism. They have this thing where, I remember this buddy back in the army, keep going. He was adamant that it was the vaccines, and the dude had a ton of autistic traits that I look back on and I go, no, most likely his wife and you both passed down genes that made your kid not autistic. And he was masking so hard. Obviously, you had to be masking in the military, but he did really well on one-on-one situations with me, and he didn't really like engaging in a lot of social interactions. He would get really mad about any kind of like the group functions, the group punishments, any of the larger squad stuff. He really excelled on 101 stuff. And looking back now, I think, oh wow, I'm able to guess that he probably was on the spectrum based on looking back now at the way he acted and the clear indication that his child had an actual diagnosis, right? So his kid had the diagnosis. It's going to be real easy to go, it's hereditary. It had to come from one of the parents, most likely him, but it can be from both parents. And so for parents who stumble upon this video and think, my kid might be autistic, it might be, caught, or might be them vaccines, and then you look and you go, okay, well, if you do realize that it's hereditary, you gotta stop and ask yourself, have you just been masking all this time? Because the expectation is to mask. Expectation is to, you can't stim. The things that you do stim are bad. People will make bets that you can't stim. People will insult you for stimming. They will plague you for stimming. And if your stimming is not social part of the contract, then people will make your life miserable for stimming. You'll get bullied for stimming. The stims that you do are, treated as treason to being in a functioning society for some reason. And so, if you think that, your kid has autistic traits, then you got to look at yourself or your partner and realize that, it's hereditary and most likely passed down from parent to child. And so, this might help you start your deconstruction about realizing how you've been masking, how certain things have been driving you crazy all your life. I know a lot of people who, having grown up with them, seen them for my whole life, they're struggling with depression or anxiety, and the meds never work and the therapy never works because they're treating the symptoms and, of course, not the core component, not the cause. And so for someone like me who was constantly treating my depression with antidepressants, and I never saw any improvement until I quit alcohol, but I didn't see anything. And usually I expected, to have some sort of benefit or boon from taking antidepressants, and I got nothing, except for all the downsides. And it wasn't until I stopped drinking did I actually start experiencing some sort of relief. And I felt very much like I was resistant to the pills, that to the point where a doctor kind of gave up on me and was just like, you seem very resistant to everything. They wanted to double dose me. They wanted to give me, 2 different prescriptions of antidepressants. And it wasn't until I started exploring a autism diagnosis come here, baby, stop, sit, come back, heel, good girl. It was both ways. And so I finally saw actual relief from my antidepressants once I was using it for treating, basically getting my autism acknowledged, verified, validated, and treated. And that's when I started seeing real relief from my depression. I'm not cured. My depression never goes away. It's probably something that I will be stuck with for my whole life, and it's more about managing it than getting rid of it. Whew, we stopped. Straddle that doggy. Yeehaw. Alrighty. And so, some of my stems is being really goofy. I have a bad habit of quoting movies out of character, singing songs that, as people have described, they'll say, like, how do you know that I'm around the corner? It's like, don't worry, I'll be singing, you'll hear me coming. I'm a very goofy person, and a lot of it is stimming. A lot of it is being in my own little world, and I was made fun of by my family for doing this to the point where I would mask and not act this way at school because I had to appear normal. And so I'd like to think that I had a relatively normal childhood as far as school goes, but my family would probably beg to differ. I think they saw the part where the mask comes down, right? Like, you can't mask 24/7, so your family is going to kind of always know. And so I felt that a family can be very unsupportive. If you have a family member who has autism and you get short, you have lack of patience, you're getting upset with them for them having autism, this expectation is just cruel. I would even go so far to say is that you're abusive. Like, if you have this expectation that your siblings need to mask up in front of you, that's cruelty. If you get offended that they mask up for the public and not you, that's because you were supposed to be the safe person and you're not being the safe person. And that's where I think that I have the audacity to say that your behavior is abusive. If you know what you're doing is causing harm and you do it anyways, then yeah, doesn't that fit the criterion for being abusive? So to friends and family who experience a person who has autism, they let their guard down, they let their mask down, they be fun and goofy, and they stim around you, they cut loose. Like, that's supposed to be them being genuine, that's supposed to be a privilege. Like, you should be kind of honored that they feel comfortable or safe around you, or that you should be providing that safe environment. And if you can't provide that safe environment, I gotta ask you why. Like, what are you going through that means you don't want to help somebody? Or what are you going through that means that it's okay to not provide a safe environment for someone else? Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that? So yeah, I'm gonna make some bold claims, and I want to see somebody try to make me defend that, because I want to push back. I want families to awaken and go, hey, if I had a family member who was in a wheelchair, I would change stairs and ramps. I would change my expectations. I wouldn't tell somebody to just grow taller. I wouldn't tell somebody to, if they're being abused by their parents, to just toughen it out. That makes you an enabler. And enabling can be a major form of abuse. And so, like, all these normal expectations we wouldn't do to somebody. We wouldn't say, hey, just see better. You don't need glasses. Just stop having sad thoughts. You don't need antidepressants. Stop organizing things. You don't need anti-anxiety meds. And just stop masking. Or just mask up and stop being autistic. It's like, well, it doesn't work that way for anything else. So once again, we need equality in this world, and I think that's what's changing about this world, is access to information is really helping people vouch for themselves. So if you're looking for something to give yourself validity and something to affirm the care that you need, then look no further, because that's literally the point of this video, is to let you know that there is, in fact, the opposite of nothing wrong with you. In fact, you're completely normal. And I'm hoping that autism will evolve into this holistic and non-holistic things. It'll stop being so very like a dichotomy of just you're this or you're that. I hope that the spectrum really changes and we start realizing that there's more complex personality traits, and we stop realizing them as flaws, and we start realizing them as actually perks and boons. As we've said before, for like all of the stimming can lead to a lot of very interesting things. Autistic people tend to have really fun, exciting, powerful ways of viewing the world. Come here. Heel. Good girl. All right. Let's blow the face. And so, you're going to see that as they become prize fighters at math. They become some of the best programmers. Oop, you find something? We trust them with their hyper focus on things. These are the people who go out of their way to study, biology, marine biology, zoology, where they make something their focus, they make it their life, and then they become experts on this, right? And we appreciate them when they have these contributions to society, and yet we can't all realize that, hey, like maybe a little bit of understanding, flexibility when it comes to the rest of the standards of society, right? Like, our standards are pitifully low already, but our understanding is even worse. So whenever we have somebody who's doing these great, why are you walking like that? Come on, out of the yard. Out of the yard. Get out of the yard. Come here. Heel. All right, let's cross. And so, kind of lost my train of thought, but hey, that's what happens when you try to clear your mind and walk a dog at the same time, I guess. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But I was talking about stims and how the world could just be a little more understanding of people with different needs. I think I'll stop calling them special needs. They're just different. If someone needs a weighted blanket to feel safe, then yeah, where's the harm in that? I've seen a lot of people who greatly benefit from weighted blankets. They really provide a strong sense of security when it comes to sleeping. So if you're interested in trying a weighted blanket, strong recommend. Noise canceling headphones, super strong recommend, especially if you think your kid might be experiencing either meltdowns or burnouts from a world that struggles to understand that they're processing at a very different rate. I mean, I mentioned a few times already that, you know, they have different neuron firings. They have less trimmings, which shows that in the cell cultures, when we measured brain activity in neurons, an autistic brain will trim off other ends, whereas an autistic brain will not. There's been a lot of studies on it lately that have shown that there is something functionally different. And once again, none of that is a bad thing. I think it shows more creative ways of thinking because they don't have these neuron trimmings. They tend to think in a lot more open-mindedness. They're willing to see, of course, pattern recognition is a huge one, right? And so when I see kids who absolutely love to be in their little tiger costume or their dinosaur costume, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, that's their comfort clothing. And a lot of autistic people end up having the comfort items. You know, we've got, as far as stims goes, we've got comfort foods, comfort clothing. My lifestyle has always been, I find a pair of shorts that I really, really like, and I will buy the pair of shorts in every color. I will get jean, brown, khaki, black, whatever I can get the colors in, especially if I can get them in green. Oh my god, because I have green autism, you know. I found a really cool tank top style that I liked, and I made sure to get it in basically every color I could because it fits right. And I've got this really bad autism where clothing was just not made for me. Like, I've got a triangle swimmer's body, right? So huge shoulders, really tiny waist. And so if I get a large t-shirt, it kind of washes me out. Like, you can't see any, you know, chest definition. You can't see my stomach. Like, everything just kind of gets washed out. And my shoulders finally fit if I get, you know, large enough. And so it's like, I swear that either just the dimensions were just not made for me. And it's not just that, you know, there's plenty of other weird problems. My dad and I have both expressed that AirPods just do not work for us. My ears are too small. There's something about it that, like, getting them in my ears is not comfortable. It's actually kind of painful. I need headphone styles. I end up getting headsets that are over the ear, so they just hang out on the back of my ear, and I can flip them, go to left or right. That way, if one ear gets tired, I can flip it to the other ear, kind of thing. And like, I noticed like a lot of those similarities. I like having one earphone in because I like to be able to hear what's going on around me. So that way I feel a little more in control of what I'm hearing, so that I can escape, but I'm still, you know, I still got the danger mode, I still got the vigilance, the hypervigilance, you know, from working in law enforcement and whatnot. The hypervigilance will never go away. I hope someday. Gonna need some more therapy on that one to make that go away, I think. I don't think it can go away. I think it's a part of me now. Took what I hated and made it a part of me. And so as far as like the the comfort clothing, once you find something that you like, a style, then you kind of stick to it. And fashionable people will really struggle with this because they want to look fashionable, but they also need to feel comfortable. It's gonna show up in fun signs like socks. I really hate the way that clinicians ask about socks. They'd be like, do you have any difficulties with socks? And it's like, no, I've mastered the art of socks. Like, when I put a sock on, it goes on perfectly. I never knew problems. And they're just like, oh, well, you know, that's an autistic trait you don't seem to have. And it's like, yes, that is an autistic trait that I have. Why? Because I buy the same pair of socks. I ordered a crap ton of them off of Amazon. I found the best type of sock for my feet. I found the best size for my feet. I have this particular ritual way of putting them on so that the seam doesn't touch the outside of my big toe or the inside of my little toe, because I need my socks to be on properly. Otherwise, I will go have conniptions, right? Like, and I felt so terrible for my son when I put socks on him, and I could just see him burst out into angry tears and him asking, take his shoe off. And I'm like, why? It's so difficult to get that kid's shoe on, you know? I'm exhausted. And he's like, my sock's not on right. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry, my son. I have failed you as a parent. Like, I put a sock on you, and I didn't think about the same, you know, feelings that I have towards socks, and just the pure hatred I have towards them about how socks just do not function. I swear they just don't do the thing they're supposed to. All they've ever done for me is sweat and build up moisture and try to give me a fungus and make me have to treat athlete's foot, you know, from being in a boot in the army or in law enforcement. If you know what putting your foot in a boot is like, it's terrible. And so those things, you know, show up in forms of socks and different clothing. Doesn't match my shoulders. I hate that about clothing. And then we got our comfort foods, you know, the same comfort foods that we eat over and over and over again. And we got a wild dog loose. Great. Alrighty. Hopefully, wild doggy don't come to us. He's coming towards us. Alright, well, what's this in front now? Are you lost, baby girl? Are you lost? Let's see, do you have an owner thingy on you? No? Oh no. What are we gonna do with you, dog? Well, guys, it was great watching you. I gotta go do the thing where I try to help this dog find their home, because they look lost. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching, y'all. Toodles. Ciao.